Hi there. Welcome to Discussions with the Fascia Masters. My name is Deanna Hansen. I'm the founder of Block Therapy and Fluid Isometrics, and I'm being joined by my nephew, Quinn and my partner on this block therapy journey. And so incredibly excited to introduce Christine, Justin, and Zenon, who's actually our guest here today. Zenon has been just an absolute star in our block therapy community. You're going to see the before and after pictures of Zenon. So you know what, Christine, Justin, I'm just going to pass it over to you. This has been an incredible, 13, 14, 15 months. I'm not sure how long, but it's been over a year and it's been just amazing. So
yes, I think our first picture we took of Zenon and sent to you was in September of 2020. And it's certainly been an incredibly powerful, intense journey since then.
Yes,
that's for sure.
Yeah, and we're just so grateful that one of my acquaintances, Evelyn, she just said, you need to contact Deanna and look at block therapy for your son. And I just, okay.
So Christine, can we jump back to that first conversation that I had with you? I remember it very well. It was very emotional. And so do you want to share a little bit about sort of where you were at back at that initial time?
Well, I think we were just at the time when we first found out about Zenon developing scoliosis. We didn't really know anything about it and what to expect and how to help Zenon. And I remember feeling very concerned and scared and overwhelmed and didn't have any direction on what to do for our little guy. Zenon is so wonderful. He's always super joyful and we just want the best for him. So I remember after speaking with you, I felt like a relief because you had so many encouraging things to say and shared some of your successes with your other block therapy community members. And we just figured like this was, it just made sense, you know, the body and the fascia and it was in our idea that perhaps Zenon developed some of his scoliosis due to some of the archery he had been doing. He was doing archery like crazy with a compound bow, and he had to use a lot of draw weight to activate the bow. And so we thought maybe could that be one of the reasons why the scoliosis was starting to develop? Could the muscles just be having a disbalance? So we figured bringing balance back into the body with the breath and movement and the fascia body work was a good way. What do you think, bud?
I don't know.
That's okay, buddy.
Yeah, that's good. And okay, so let's all share. So we started when Zenon was 6 years old. So he's only 7 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's 7.5.
Yeah. So I remember that first initial call, if I may share from my perspective.
Please,
it was, it's interesting because often when I get on calls, it's generally the mother that I tend to be speaking with initially. And there's always this overwhelming feeling of guilt from the parent that they've done something wrong. And I remember that moment because you shared that and it's so common, yet it's so, not warranted from the perspective of what has happened and what needs to happen. But I just remember when I first saw that picture and you were so upset because it had seemed like from your perspective that there was about 6 months when, you initially really started to see things changing rapidly. And that was around the time that he was, picking up archery and doing that. So I remember and we'll share these photos because there was a 7-week follow-up photo. And then we've got the amazing one that we've had like from, I think it's been again, 15 months or something. But that initial 7-week photo, which is actually on our website, and we share that under the scoliosis program we have, was absolutely mind-blowing. And, you know, one of the things that we did was we got Zenon to love, well, I don't know if he loves blocking, but we got him to do it pretty much daily. And we also had you working on his calves, like I showed you with the block in your hands, and then to do archery on the opposite side. And I remember, like, within a day or something, I think you sent me a video of him with the archery from the left side, hitting the target from far away. And I'm like, this kid is insane.
Yeah, there was no stopping him.
Oh
You've got a pretty good aim, buddy.
You sure do. So that first, 7 week was so paramount, because it just showed me, like, wow, like, we're on the right track. And I mean, it's a journey, it's a process to undo things, but I had no doubt from that moment forward that, we were going to continue to get Zenon into a great place. But then when you took him to see the specialists, they found there was some more issues inside, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, at first we were just, is there something you wanted to say, buddy? Yeah. Okay. You want me to keep going with our story? Yeah. Okay. Are you having fun? Yeah. Wonderful.
You look great, Zenon. You're sitting up nice and straight, and you got great posture. I'm so impressed. So
at first, we had seen the nurse practitioner who referred us to the pediatric team, and they wanted us to see an orthopedic surgeon who would monitor with x-rays. And there was one repeat x-ray that we had done, and there appeared to be an increase in the degree of the curve, which alarmed us. But of course, we came to talk to you about it, and we discussed the theory of how sometimes to get the curve out, like, things appear worse before the better, because it's like wiggling its way up and out of the spine.
But that picture, which was the worst picture, it looked worse. What we pointed out and what they weren't paying attention to, I was like, but what about his hips? His hips are straight now. Like, they used to be all crooked. And they had a picture of his spine and it was crooked. And then we had a retake, but yeah, there's a little more crooked on the spine, but his hips, like, you could see in the x-ray, it was clear that his posture had changed.
Yeah. So we could see some shifts on the outside of Zenon and on the x-ray, but the doctor, the pediatric orthopedic surgeon, thought that it warranted an MRI
to rule out.
Yeah, to rule out, because sometimes when there's scoliosis
in
children under a certain age, there could be some other associated conditions going on.
So they wanted to rule things out.
Because in their mind, things were getting worse. It was like, okay, time for an MRI. And we're kind of like freaking out about that. We didn't like that very much, but we did it. You did it, buddy. You did that MRI. You're so brave. And then, so Zenon went for the MRI under general. And that was a lot from the perspective of a parent. And then to receive the news that
what they don't want to find, they found.
What they didn't want to find, they found. So they found what they wanted to call a Chiari-1 malformation, which they explained was crowding at the base of the skull. And they were describing how the tonsils in the brain were sitting at 7 millimeters, which is still within the normal limits, but it's definitely on their outer end of normal. And because he had the other spinal condition that was apparent on MRI, then they chose to call it a Chiari-1 malformation. And then there was also the other condition, which is called the syrinx. And that's when there's fluid accumulating along, inside, or around the spine. So the doctor didn't quite know where it was in Zenon's body, but typically you see like a long kind of fluid pocket, but Zenon had it looked like sausage links, like a bunch of bubbles along the spine. And so because of that, they wanted Zenon to come back in a few months, it was 4 months, to do a repeat MRI to make sure that, just to see if things were getting better, worse, staying the same. and they wanted us to come all the way to Ottawa. We live in Northern Ontario near Sudbury. So our first MRI was in Sudbury. And then after that, they said, okay, well, we're going to refer you to the pediatric neurosurgeon, come to CHEO, meet the doctors. We'll do another MRI there.
And we won't put him under because...
And then they said, we won't put him under because we're experienced. We can give him a movie. And he loved that. Tell us what movie you picked, buddy.
Chance of Meatballs 2.
Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs 2. Was it fun?
Yeah.
Do you have a message you want to tell other kids about your MRI?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can let them know.
Was it scary or was it cool?
It was kind of cool, but very annoying.
Very annoying. What was annoying about it?
Because there was a bunch of sounds.
It was loud.
Loud sounds?
Yeah.
I was in the room as well. He chose a parent to be there with him. So I got to sit beside the machine with my headset on, in complete not knowing, because he's just in the machine and all I hear is the sound. So it is noisy. But,
but you did so
I didn't see him move at all. He was still, he did not move one bit. And
That's amazing.
they said you did a really good job. You didn't move.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
I've never had one, so I'm not sure I could withstand it.
I remember telling him that I fell asleep when I had my MRI because I like that kind of noise that's constant and then there's like a little bit of vibrations and you're on this table and it's just like, oh, I can go sleep just about anytime doing that. So I fell asleep when I had an MRI. So I said, at worst, you just go for sleep. I did. It worked out.
How
good
can you
for
go
me.
for sleep when you're watching a movie?
Yeah, so there you go. Maybe I should have been watching a movie.
Well, there you go. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So then Zenon had the MRI,
and it wasn't that bad.
And it wasn't that bad, and it was
good. Actually not that bad because you did a really good job. But the neurosurgeon, all the nurses in that office, the interns, they were like, come here, we have to show you. They were so excited. Yes. They're like, well, look at these pictures because we can't bring it to the room and show you this side-by-side picture. And the neurosurgeon really likes to put things nice and visual. So he put the old one and the new one side by each. And it was just such a moment.
We had gone home that evening after the MRI
and proud. Oh my God, those pictures were unmistakable.
But before going home before I went home, I skated 4 kilometers.
Oh, that's right. We went and skated too. Yeah. Another incredible thing. We skated the Rideau Canal.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Nice.
Yes. 7 years old, skated 4 clicks of the Rideau Canal. I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
You're a machine.
I know.
Superheroes.
I'm taking my skates off and he's like, I just want to go for a little bit more. Okay, go ahead, bud. You're awesome.
So this was just a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? This trip?
Yes, it was
beginning of last week, yeah.
Yes.
The 24th, we were there.
Yes. We've not been home for more than a week and a half since our journey to Ottawa, but I think we're still vibing high after our incredible appointment. We went into the follow-up after the MRI the following day, and we really had no idea what to expect. I mean, you and I and Justin and Zenon and everyone in the block therapy community could see Zenon's before and after pictures that we took from behind, and we could see all these amazing, wonderful changes in it. I was just hoping in my heart that in the MRI we could see a change like that as well. And so we went in nervous and anxious and
scared.
I even asked a social worker to be present and hold space for us and take notes if needed, and we didn't need her. It was so
I have a question, Christine. What would have been the outcome had there not been the positive changes? What would they have wanted to do?
I think that they were definitely
considering
surgery.
Yeah.
To
relieve
offer
the
more
Chiari.
Space. Yeah. So their initial surgery to us seems scary, but I guess to the neurosurgeons, that's like their initial thing that they do to get to any other bigger problems that we are not experiencing. That's the initial thing that they have to do to start the process. So to them, it's like easy. but to us, it's very scary. Obviously, having to do surgery is a very scary thing. So
yes,
when they were jumping for joy, not even wanting to see him, we'll see you in a year. You do what you're doing and keep it up. You're doing such good work. And that was positive to hear from them. It was a good message. I only wish we could link what what everybody else, Bioflex, chiropractor, osteopath, choice of food, exercise, and everything. If we could all just come together and heal everyone, that would be so much greater and so much better for the rest. But yes, we're so happy for Zenon, and it's great news.
Yeah, it was really surreal. Like the nurse, she just came in and she's checking all his reflexes, and she's just got the biggest smile on her face. And we're just like, okay, like what's happening here? Yeah. And then she just said he was perfect. You're perfect.
Nothing wrong with you.
There was a significant improvement in his imaging, and we were just like, wow, so blown away. The doctors and nurses were all giddy and jumping around and dancing, and all the little sausage bubbles had shrunken, and his tonsils aren't sitting at 7 millimeters. They're sitting at 3 millimeters now. So there was some space created. And I asked the doctor, I said, oh my God, does this happen? And he said, well, it's happening right now. I said, okay. And then the nurse practitioner, she said, it can happen, but this is certainly not common. She said, like, this is a miracle. And I'm just like blown away at, we have this opportunity to be in the witness of a miracle and to have healing for our son. We're just so happy for you, Zenon.
Yeah.
And all your hard work, especially with all your blocking.
Daddy, go outside.
And we've shared, the puppy. We've shared the journey with our block therapy community on the community page. And I'm just so impressed at how many people he's reaching. And there's people who are saying, I'm 73 and there's hope for me too. And it's like, yes, there's hope for you too, right? And it's just
Zenon.
It's just really,
Can I ask you a question, Zenon?
Yeah.
There you are. How many, have you blocked almost every single day since we've met?
I think so.
Pretty much. Mine missed a couple of days because it was too fun and there's something else happening, but I do it with them. If Christine does it with them, it's beneficial not only for Zenon, but for me. I don't see a chiropractor as ever as I used to, so that's always beneficial. So I believe in it as well, and I talk about it all the time. And it's like they all look at me like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm like, just look into it. Why not? It's the year of the why not. Just look into it. Why not?
Love that.
And then Zenon's like, we went to a crystal place, a crystal and gem place after
celebrate.
And we said, Zenon, you can pick any gem you wanted, you go ahead. And doesn't he pick this one right here? Go ahead, show yours one. Oh my.
Wow.
They found this selenite wand. And even the girl, the lady was like, there's these smaller ones you can have. And Zenon's like,
no, he's a superhero.
This is the one. This is
that.
the one I want. This is what's happening. It's happening. And I couldn't say no to this.
Wow.
For all your good work. Way on, buddy.
Way to go, Zenon. No kidding. And you also shared this fantastic video of him hanging and swimming like an Olympic gymnast.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with this boy.
Exactly. And that's what we kept having to tell ourselves every time we had a moment of worry. We just kept reminding ourselves, look at this child. He is running, jumping, climbing. He can hammer out 30 push-ups, no problem. One-arm push-ups. He is unstoppable. We've got to be on the right path with, Zenon's been his therapies he's been doing with the block therapy, seeing his osteopath, and he's also been getting some Bioflex laser treatments on the nape of his neck and all down his spine. And I think everything combined, you know, the power of belief and everything, all of that combined is working for us. And like, why not? We are born with this innate power to heal. Our body wants to be in balance. So if we give it the right environment, then this is possible for him. And if it's possible for him, it's possible for other people. And block therapy hasn't only just impacted and changed and healed Zenon. He's also, block therapy's also helped
my sister,
your sister, my
your
mom. She doesn't need polyp surgery anymore. Like, it's just super incredible.
Wow.
I think you had a conversation with my sister as well. She was really happy to talk with you with Danielle. It was with the
I didn't know that was your sister. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the one that's selling the
whole family.
The whole family, yeah. She's the Canadian distributor for the machine there that we use on Zenon as well.
The massage,
yes,
the vibration
machine, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And then of course, your mom, Christine, has been a super huge vocal proponent in our community groups. And we've done a story of transformation on her. She's just been incredible as well. And yeah, your whole family has just been such a blessing. So I am so incredibly honored to have had the opportunity to work with you, and will continue to work with you as long as you want me. And
absolutely,
you're part of the team.
Yeah.
Both you guys, you're part of our team.
So Zenon, if you had one thing to say to Quinn, what would it be?
I don't really know.
You don't really know? Because I know you think he's pretty cool.
Yeah. What do you have to say to Quinn? Do you have a question for him? Like,
not really.
What's his favorite secret to keeping so healthy and strong?
Blocking.
Yeah.
Blocking.
Well, I have a question for you, Quinn. Actually, what's your story with the blocking? What is your positive story with the blocking? I've always never had a chance to ask. And if this is the platform, then what is it for you?
That's a very good question. Well, it's first of all, Deanna's my aunt, so I got the treatments of fluid isometrics. I was very lucky of fluid isometrics prior to block therapy even being a thing. So as soon as block therapy was a thing, because I didn't really want to do the work at home before there was the tool block therapy. So as soon as block therapy actually came out, that's when I was about 18 and I was really into bodybuilding at that time. Like, I was so dedicated and focused. That's all I wanted to do, because like the idea of me getting involved with block therapy, working with block therapy wasn't even an idea. So the first thing I noticed was just like the breath and how much calmer everything was. And then of course, my ego was like, how is this going to help me with bodybuilding? Is this going to help me win? Is it going to help with recovery, with performance, with symmetry? So I started noticing all of that, because the whole idea of the supplement company and with bodybuilding is to recover faster, perform better, create, well, that's not necessarily going to create symmetry, but it was the fastest tool and the fastest way to create change in my body.
Cool.
Because going to the gym, it takes time. Like, it's years and years and years of constant dedication, and the diet and the nutrition is just insane. Like, how much you need to eat of particular foods, when to eat, time and everything. So that was the main thing that I first noticed. And then just my whole perception of the body and training changed, because I realized if I'm going to the gym and I'm like breaking myself down to that degree, and then I have to spend this much time on the block to bring myself back or to make the improvements, I'm like, I don't think training in the gym as a bodybuilder is necessarily healthy. So then fast forward to years later, which was probably last year, the Block for Fitness, Deanna, almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
That's crazy, time's flying.
Yeah.
So that's when I started to put together the Block for Fitness program, because people can't train as a bodybuilder and expect that to be healthy, really. So how can, and another thing that I really wanted people to understand is you can do whatever you're doing, no matter what that is. If that's archery, if that is being a bodybuilder, if that's an Olympic skater, if that's a rock climber, golfing, which is also an asymmetrical sport, you can still do that, but just understand that we need to decompress the body and strengthen the body in both directions. So, and then also implementing these postural foundation techniques that have been put together in the Block for Fitness program. So having that in there, it's really breaking everything down so that you can strengthen the body from like every micro movement and degree. And then once you start focusing on that quite a bit, it just becomes autonomic. And it's just whatever you're doing, keep that in mind, and then you're good, you're safe. Like you're going to go out of alignment, but at least you have a tool to bring you back to the correct alignment.
Yeah.
So I could just keep on talking about how block therapy has helped me, because it's helped. Like right now I'm dealing with like a sinus issue because it's so dry in my apartment. Deanna gives me a treatment for like 45 minutes today, and it's just like open, so fascia decompression, it's just like, I could talk about a million things. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. It's going to keep surprising you. So that's why even if you've overcome a certain issue or condition, you don't want to just stop, because if you stopped, you just lost potential of how much more you could have improved from, and things that would have just completely shocked you. So that's what we're just discovering. And like the community's coming out with things and results where like I haven't even thought or heard of that. Deanna hasn't even thought or heard of that. So it's still a young business. Fascia is still a young concept to the world. Mm-hmm. And especially to have an effective tool and therapy to actually create effective, long-lasting change. So I just keep on using it to explore what's going on, because I connect this a lot to also, I'm going to get a little more on the spiritual side, but to like my meditations and how it can just completely expand everything. And the more open you are as a whole, you're more open to receiving, you're more open to connecting, you're more open to the universe. So I went through my very interesting spiritual journey recently. So like, that's a whole other story. So it just keeps on building. And I'm like, this is the missing link in almost everything. I shouldn't necessarily just say the missing link, because I don't want it to sound like arrogant in a way, but it is the most powerful complement to everything.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like
it works with everything, no matter where you are. And now consciously I'm thinking, okay, well, if I do it always on this side, I'm purposely misaligning myself. I'm thinking before I even do the job or the sport, I'm like, I should be doing it both sides, because then at least I'll come home it being balanced and not out of balance and needing to do even more, like you're saying, even more of the block therapy to get to those spots. I totally agree. And it's also a way of life now, because instead of going to band-aid yourself at the chiropractor that you've been doing for years on, you can do it yourself. You put that spot where you think is working, and you let yourself listen to your body, and your body will tell you where you're supposed to be. It's really great. So you can link it with everything spiritually, with everything else, food, and it just snowballs. It's awesome.
It is the perfect complement. It is so true. And we were in our like pure bliss and joy and relief for Zenon, but then in my heart there was like, there's a part of it that thought, well, don't you as the doctor want to know how we achieved this?
How we got here.
Do you not want to know how this could potentially help another one of your patients, like another one of these children? So there's an information gap, and I'm so excited to fill that information gap and for more people to learn and discover the benefits and the power between, this breath work and the fascia. And the fascia has its own consciousness, and there's quantum energy there as well. And it's super cool, super powerful. And it's like so amazing that you're this, like, you two are such powerful lights and forces and bringing this to our planet and our people. And I'm so happy to see that so many people around the world are using block therapy, and it's really great.
Well, and you know what, the work that Zenon's done, he is going to transform, I'm sure, millions of people with his dedication, the changes he's made already. people are reaching out to us because of his photos and the changes, like they can't believe it. And, you know, the question is it really possible? And it's like, well, as the doctor said, well, it's happened. So of course it's possible.
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
We're not stopping now.
Yeah.
And one
I
thing
don't know how old it is.
It's, well, I'll tell you, it's 225 million years old.
This is petrified wood into glass, and it's, what is it again?
225 million years old.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
That's
Petrified
beautiful.
wood.
That's
So wood that's
incredible.
been compressed over millions of years into
And you have
a piece
that.
of glass.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
That's so crazy.
Zenon, where did you get
Wow.
At that gem place, obviously.
that? Okay.
Amazing. That is so cool. Do
So
you know
that
what's
piece of
really-
wood did not use block therapy. It got dense.
Yeah.
That
That's
looks
hilarious.
like the crystal itself. Like that's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
smokes.
crazy. And what's actually really funny, Deanna, when I was really young, Deanna would give me a bunch of different crystals for like my birthday or for Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
And I still have them
Yeah.
from
Oh,
when I
that's
was
beautiful.
the same age
So
as
great.
Zenon. So
Perfect.
you're going to keep that forever, Zenon.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep that forever.
That is so cool. And one thing I just wanted to mention, because it was really cool that the doctor said that it was a miracle, but I think the miracle is you three. You three doing it created the miracle. Zenon is the miracle. He's a product of the miracle because he is the miracle. You did the work. All Zenon did was just listen to the information that was delivered, but
Yeah.
he did the work. He listened to his body. He followed the breath. He followed the classes. He listened to what Deanna had to say, and that made the change. And I thought that was super brilliant for Deanna to mention. One of the first things is to change the archery to the other side, because that's huge. It's interesting. Like even seeing my friends who are really big into golf, and I'm very big into golf too, but at least I'm conscious enough to see my body and like how to counteract that, but how they start to twist and how they start to develop scoliosis and back issues. So just this whole story is incredible. And seriously, our community raves about Zenon, raves about you guys. And like, this isn't something small. This isn't something small. Like people look up to you. And
Did you hear that, buddy?
it's
everybody's
incredible.
hero.
And hey, Zenon, we're just starting. We're just starting.
Put down, Penny.
You know?
And he's part of the family.
Part of the
Oh,
family.
yes. There's lots
Start
of love
blocking
around
the
here.
dog.
You think you want to keep blocking forever?
Maybe.
Maybe. I do.
It's fun that we can do
I
it
love
together as a family and at home.
Maybe when we're done building our house, this yurt might be our storage room.
Oh, for blocking?
Cool.
In the studio for
Yeah.
blocking?
Maybe.
Yeah, we put you on some videos.
One
Nice
other
blocking
thing that
videos of you.
Zenon has just really done too, and I keep hearing this, you know, if a 6-year-old can do it and dedicate the time
Mhm.
and discipline, then it's pretty hard to say, I don't have the time or I can't do it, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
you're being shown up by a 6-year-old, now 7-year-old, but like really,
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was very challenging at first to get him on board because it's not as fun as playing at first, you know, like there were so many new things going on for him too, with like, oh, now you need a brace. Now you need appointments. Now you need block therapy. So it was a lot for him to come to that, but
When you make it your schedule, you
Yeah.
make it your routine. You make
sometimes
it your
we
thing.
follow the video. Sometimes we just leisurely pop a block under him when he's watching TV or if he's playing a game, or, you know, sometimes we do exercise routines and we change it up all the time. And in fact, we just hung some aerial yoga silks in the new house we're building, and Zenon's been doing some inversions. And another thing that we find really important for him is climbing, because it just totally strengthens all of these muscles in his back. And it's like he's using both sides of his body, right? So we have a cliff on the back of our property, and some of our friends took him rock climbing. He was rappelling up and down the cliff like No problem. Like,
I was getting faster and faster.
You were
and
getting
faster.
Yeah, you were getting
fast.
fast. You're a rock climber. Definitely.
Yeah.
Got
So
some skills.
yeah, he moving his body is super important, and doing your belly breaths.
So Zenon, you're showing people that you can do absolutely anything you put your mind to.
Mhm.
That's really, really exciting. I can only imagine what your life is going to be and where it's going to take you.
Yeah.
Very, very excited. I want to come and visit you, and I want to do some rock climbing myself.
That
That'd
sounds
be fun.
great.
That'd be really fun. Quinn and I will take a little drive over to your place. We're just a province away, so
Just a province away.
Yeah.
yeah, we're not that far.
Yeah.
That'd be super cool.
And
That
we've
would be
never
so
been
cool.
to Manitoba, so
We'll
We'll have to
Well,
do a
few
few
trips.
You come here, we'll go there.
Yeah, it
we'll
would be
make it
just
a
a
family trip. It'll be awesome.
honor to meet you guys in person and give you a big hug, Zen. And I just, yeah, we'll have to do that.
we'll create a cool handshake.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can show Quinn some of your archery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Left and right. You got to be able to do it both sides.
And your axe throwing too.
Yeah, I tell you, nonstop.
You're gonna have to teach me this stuff, Zenon. You're gonna have to teach me archery. I've never thrown an axe before.
Yeah, I have.
You're cooler than me, man. I love that.
Everybody is cool in their own unique ways, and
Yes.
Zenon would sometimes feel discouraged, like, why is my body like this? And I would just tell him, well, everybody's body is different, and that's the same for everyone. Everyone has to do self-care, and for mommy, self-care looks like this picture, and for dad, it looks like this. For Farah, she's a teenager, so she
She's
has to like shower lots and take care of those things. And for you,
This was
your body's
journey.
asking you for all these other wonderful things that you're doing for your body with blood
Plus
therapy.
sometimes play Minecraft.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
definitely a fan of that.
Yeah, so really just driving home self-care, and it's a unique journey for everyone, and it's really great that he's listening to his body and teaching other people about the fascia. And
You guys are not that hard to listen to. It's nice to listen to the videos and go through them. So add on for you guys. It's good to follow you guys. It's really easy.
Well, and I do have to say that I think, Christine, it was when you shared with me about a year ago that, what 6-year-old knows where the piriformis is. And so we have our Black Therapy Academy for Kids. We're going to be launching in May. And because of that, it made me think, okay, in every position, we have to really highlight what we're doing and really teach the youth, teach kids about fascia, about their body. So they're not just learning the technique and the tool, they're actually learning
their anatomy,
fascia, so they can really grab an understanding and move forward in life from a very strong perspective of what they need for themselves. So that was you and Zen, and that gave me that kind of like that impulse to do that. So you're threaded through so many parts of the community and this whole process. And again, I can't thank you enough for your dedication.
I don't think we could have gotten through this journey without this community supporting us.
That's for sure.
And just reading everyone's comments and knowing that, my mom would say, oh, we talked about Zenon again in the group. And it's like, okay, people are praying for us. They're thinking about Zenon.
The feedback has definitely been
It's all
helpful
good
for
energy.
us, because sometimes energy is low and it's tough and it's rough and it's hurting and it's painful. And, like a nice comment and a nice positive energy and vibes that were sent, it lifts the spirits, and that's what's needed sometimes. And because of your community, thank you for that. It pushed us through everything that we're doing right now.
I'm so pleased. We do have a beautiful community of just incredible souls who are just all there to support and be there to, give feedback and their wisdom and their prayers. That's huge. Well, I can't thank you enough. And this has been an absolute pleasure. I am sure that this is going to be seen by so many. I'm going to make sure of it. And we're going to get so many kids on a healthier track. And, you're going to be a leader along the way, Zen. And so, good for you.
We say thank you to Quinn and Deanna.
Thank you, Quinn and Deanna.
Nice chatting. We'll chat with you soon.
Yeah, we'll do follow-ups. We'll keep on top of this so we can keep sharing his progress as time goes on.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys so much, and have a
Thanks
lovely
so
day.
much.
And thanks all of you for listening. And Quinn, is there anything else we should be saying?
Yeah, no, well, first of all, just thank you guys so much. This has been so cool to meet all three of you. So this is now on our YouTube channel. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions for the whole gang, leave it below, and make sure that you subscribe so that you can just keep on getting updates like this and see new videos. But thank you so much for joining. Really
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
It's
you.
been amazing.
Don't forget to breathe and believe.
Bye,
Absolutely.
everyone. Thanks so much.